that when you give in to your child, when you're at the store and they're begging, 50% give in. So when the child says, please mommy, can I have this? And it's the unhealthy choice, 51.2% of parents eventually give in.
I just have just a quick little idea that maybe, because I know we're having those breakout sessions pretty soon, and obviously I won't be able to sit in on those because I'll be in ERT performing. But I thought it would be a really cool idea maybe to touch on, especially because you talked a lot about teen obesity and you talk a lot about marketing, the fact that video games are being promoted to help kids work out, and how well it works and how much it is just kind of buy this video game and you work out, and then you buy our other video games that help you sit on the couch, and just maybe that idea, if you wanted to touch on it, I thought that'd be cool.
Yes, and I'll translate Lauren's comment of RT. That actually refers to something called Reader's Theater, and our award-winning MCC speech team in the February breakout session will perform a literature ensemble compiled piece about the obesity in America issue. So hopefully there'll be time to view that and come back and get it.
Hi, I'm Susie. My concern is basically the vending machines in the cafeteria. Why there isn't more healthier choices for us out there.
Well, I think I can probably talk a little bit about cafeteria here, because Sandra Johnson, our food service director, is actually also now a culinary instructor for us, and we are in the process of making some changes, small steps. Obviously, every single step is an influence on the budget, and we have to look at the money side too. And this is where, again, the oxymoron comes in. You wish you can be healthy and have the best choices, but sometimes, if you look at how much money students spend on certain things and how we can supply that, that's a difficult decision for a food service director to make, to get a certain item out and another one in. But it's definitely something we can visit. I'm pretty sure Sandra is more than willing to do that.
Also, if I'm not mistaken, a member of the Student Senate here could also tell us, does not the Student Senate determine the vending machine contracts? No? Okay. Then it would be understandable. Senator Johnston?
I think it's, I don't know, she's for sure not making the choice alone, but the choice alone in the cafeteria, there can be some changes made too.
I'd like to just say something about that. I was doing some reading, and in 2009, California and Nevada made it a law that they could not have soft drinks in their high schools, and so they made that a law. Then Connecticut considered that also, but it was vetoed by the governor, and the reason for that is because it was said it was taking away free choice for people. Now, what's interesting in 2006, that the American Beverage Association, which was Cadbury, Schweppes, Coca-Cola, and PepsiCo, got together and they decided that they would have a ban on high-calorie drinks and beverages. This was interesting to me. In 8-ounce, 10-ounce, and 12-ounce. They would not allow that to be in elementary, middle schools, and high schools in the country. They said they really didn't think that was appropriate. So in California and Nevada, they don't have it at all. But this American Beverage Association made concessions. So, but there's people who are fighting it, even though it's probably a good thing.
Hi, my name is Marla Garrison. I'm a biology instructor here at McHenry County College. I actually had heard about that, Cheryl, the 2009 ban in California by Governor Schwarzenegger. I thought it extended further to junk food as well, because the vending machine issue came up. And if you get a chance, I strongly suggest you watch a documentary called Food Inc. and it was dealt with in that documentary. And in that documentary, it shows where they put a ban on vending machines in the California high schools, and what happened was that the students started black market selling junk food and bringing it into the schools and making a fortune, and it became the new drug of the 21st century. It was phenomenal. One girl was asking $2 per Snickers bar. So that was kind of an interesting thing. I also wanted to make a couple of comments on something I believe was told, the lack of expense of food in America. And I have traveled extensively, and food is always very, very expensive elsewhere. Here, it is so inexpensive that we stop to get gasoline and we run inside and we grab snacks. Nobody just fills up the gas tank anymore. They get food while they're doing it. And we don't think anything about treating our children. We're always thinking it's a treat, it's a treat, it's a treat. We're not asking whether that's good parenting. To indulge children. And one of the things in biology and neurobiology that I've read about is an addiction pathway that occurs with sugars and with fats. It is very much the same dopamine neural circuit that develops in the brain with sweets and fats as we see with different drugs. And those kinds of addictions are very, very difficult to break once children have fixed them in their mind. This is an evolutionary pathway we've always had. It helped us survive when we were living closer to the earth and not in such a controlled environment and where food was scarce. And so it's good to have these reward pathways, these dopamine pathways set up if, for example, you are living of the earth and you stumble upon a raspberry patch and you want to remember that's a lot of sweet, it's a lot of calorie, and I want to remember next spring to go back there. Unfortunately, now we stumble upon 20-cent Twinkies at the Hostess thrift store and we want to go back there and we want to go back there. And of course, they're so inexpensive that we do go back there and go back there. I can remember living in Florida in the 1980s and it cost me $3 to buy a gallon of milk. I can now get it for $1.68 at Sam's Club, and for the same gallon. So obviously food prices have not risen along with salaries. And so the proportion of our diet, or excuse me, the proportion of our monthly salary that goes towards buying food is a lot less than it used to be. My parents struggled to put a roof over our house and pay for the food for their many children, and that took everything out of them. We didn't go on vacations, and we didn't have $300 Nikes either, but that wasn't around then as well. So it was very expensive back in the 60s and 70s to buy processed food. Now processed food is cheaper than Whole Foods, fresh foods. And I'm ashamed to say, a couple of years ago, the McDonald's by my house had 25-cent Tuesday night hamburgers from 5 to 8. And when I get off work here and I go home and I think, well, I haven't fed the dogs. I could just get, well, this was more than a few years ago, actually. I'm thinking about it, because this is a dog that's been long dead. But I used to get him 25-cent hamburgers on Tuesday night, and I would feed him 2 McDonald's hamburgers for 50 cents, and that was cheaper than a can of dog food, by golly. There is something wrong with that, because you know where those all-beef patties came from? They came from cattle down in Argentina and down in South America after they had removed rainforest and had about 3 good years left where they could graze the animals before it became desertified and not worth anything to grow any food. So there's problems. I heard a comedian talk a couple of years ago. It was absolutely hilarious, and I can't think of his name. He was talking about how cheap food was in America. And he said, you go into 7-Eleven and you look and you try to decide, it's freezing cold, Chicago lands Monday morning, you're waiting for your car to warm up, so you pull into the local 7-Eleven, you hop in there, you're starving, you look around, and what do you got to eat? Well, you got burritos wrapped in plastic with no expiration date on them, and you got Slurpees. And so you ask the attendant, you know, what do you got for breakfast? Well, we got those burritos over there, we got Slurpees. You fill yourself up a Slurpee, and you grab a burrito. But what size Slurpee do you fill up? You got the small, medium, and large, and there's a dime difference between them. And the large is a 55-gallon drum.